everybody, and welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas. Thank you so much for joining us today. We've got an epic show ahead, but just remember, if any of you have experiences you'd like to share, I'd love to hear from you. You can either email me at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com or head over to paranormalportal.net and scroll down and find the button that says Interview Me, and that'll allow you to look at a calendar of possible times and dates and find a date that works for you. Love to hear your stories, so definitely get in touch with me. Hey everybody, and thanks again for joining me here on the Paranormal Portal. How you guys doing? Hope you're having a wonderful week. Today is part 2 time of my interview with Shane Grove of the From the Shadows podcast. And Shane and I got together on the live YouTube channel and had a great discussion and fielded questions from the chat and stuff. And I just thought it'd be a great to introduce some of you guys to Shane and his show, because maybe you haven't heard of it before, but definitely check it out. Stop over and give him some support. Of course, you can find his podcast on all of the podcast platforms, just like you can the Paranormal Portal. So give him your love, but we're diving back in today, and this is the double header. This is the part 2 you've been waiting for. So I hope you guys are all ready, and sit back, buckle up, and enjoy the ride. You know, it's interesting too, because much like you growing up, I grew up on Lake Pepin in Minnesota, which is, the widest point in the Mississippi River. It's 2 miles across, and it's kind of like Erie, by the way you're describing it, though, because there's very deep parts, but most of it is all silt. I mean, it's all filled in from silt from the Mississippi River. But so generally speaking, it's not a really deep lake. But one thing that I had never heard growing up, but I ended up finding out as an adult. I mean, I swam in this river thousands of times throughout my youth, and sat on the shores, went out on boats, fished all over this lake. Never heard anything about it until one time when somebody claims they saw some kind of big creature in the water. Probably another sturgeon, honestly, but that became Peppy. And apparently there was a legend from the local tribe of this creature in the water that was referred to as the tipper of canoes. Like it was so big it would knock over the canoes, and people would be in the water and having real trouble. But I'd never heard about it. But once somebody claimed they saw it, suddenly everybody's talking about, oh, I think I saw Peppy, and it was crazy. But my God, somebody should have warned me, because I was a little nugget in the water for years, and if there's a lake monster, somebody should have passed that along. But it's another case of the legend kind of grows out of the sensationalism. Now, when you did that interview, were you ever invited back, since you killed the Bessie story?
No, I was not invited back. No, I'm still, Paul and I talk quite a bit. She's, like I said, she does a great podcast. You didn't even realize there was that many crazy things that happened in Ohio. Yeah. Like the research they have done on, missing people and murders and famous people and unsolved crime. I mean, she does a great job. And no, they enjoyed it. I mean, I'm not sure that she would have really loved me to come on and say that there is this big unknown creature lurking at the bottom of Lake Erie. I think she's probably more practical than that, and was glad that I
Yeah.
made Lake Erie safe for her again. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Got another question in the chat from Supernatural Station Podcast. That's Jaron, wonderful guy, a longtime friend of mine as well. And he says, what's your theory on the rake/pale crawlers?
Do I have to have a theory on something that I don't want to believe
you're a host.
exists?
Hosts have to have theories, Shane.
Well,
It was in the pamphlet.
I didn't get the pamphlet. Curiously enough, Ruben, who the gentleman I was talking about that had the whatever experience out in the woods that I thought might be a actual government exercise, he has another story that he's going to come on and share in a better surroundings with better audio, by the way. Mm-hmm. And he's described a creature that he encountered similar, because he also is part Native American and had some, there's another part to his story that he's going to share. As to why he feels like he's open to experiencing some of these things.
Sure.
And he described not like a rake. See, I don't even know what you would, like, people think a rake. In my mind, when I think of it, it looks like a guy with a really pale guy crawling, right? Like
yep.
Like that's the typical.
Yes.
I mean, what the heck? To me, those things are much like Dogman. Like, I think those are spiritual type things that you experience. Like, I don't believe there's an apartment somewhere where there's like Mr. and Mrs. Rake, you know, sitting on the couch watching TV. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're actual physical creatures. I think they are spiritual things that appear or experienced by the witness in different ways. It's kind of like a haunting, okay? Mm-hmm. Like, you can have a haunting and you can either hear noises, you know, hear something bang around, hear the stairs creak, or then you can have doors slam, you could have things get moved, things disappear and then reappear, or you can see a mist that appears to be a ghost, or you can see a full-bodied apparition that interacts with you. Mm-hmm. There's all different stages of like a haunting, and I think that things like Dogman and rakes and other things that are spiritual or in nature that aren't truly physical beings on this plane of existence with us, I think that different people experience them in different ways. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents. Sure. You know, I mean, I don't know what, and I mean, we did an episode once where, here you go. Early days, we had a guest cancel and we had to have an episode.
Yeah.
So me and the judge picked a topic that we had wanted to discuss for a long time, and it was the Wendigo and now I'm losing what is the other entity that Native Americans see that they don't want to
Skinwalker?
Skinwalker, yeah.
Okay.
So Skinwalkers and Wendigos. We decided we wanted to do some investigation in that and talk about it, and it seems like to us those seem like they could be the same things. It's just that as you moved across the country into different parts of the country, it became something else. Kind of like, you know, there's all those different names for Bigfoot. Like some call them the woolly booger, or there's Sasquatch, or the skunk ape, or in Ohio we called him the grass man and stuff. So to us, you know, we got into that discussion, like, so are these things really the same thing, and that they're just called different things.
Right.
You know, it goes all the way back to the beginning. Why do they call the dog man up in North Dakota the Rougarou?
Sure.
They shouldn't be calling it the Rougarou,
Right.
you know? And so yeah, so I mean that was just because we didn't have a guest. We just decided we were going to do a little research, and that was our 2 cents. And
Yeah.
doesn't mean we're right,
Mm-hmm.
but parts of it like really kind of you know, rang the bell for us. Like, you know, maybe there's something. There could be something to this,
Right.
you know. And so is a rake just, you know, a different part of the country's version of Wendigo or a, you know, Skinwalker?
Yeah.
Or is then you got the Wraith, which is that the same thing as a rake, or is that different than a rake? You know, because a Wraith is
Vengeful
sometimes
spirit.
yeah, described as some of the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know.
It is weird.
I just
I think that you know, a lot of people say and this is redundant for my audience probably, but I don't know if you and I have ever discussed it. But I think that the term rake is probably you know, probably just a rebranding of a very old phenomena. I think they're just rebranded ghouls. You know, that in the historical, you know, cryptic references talk of these gangly, you know, semi-human type of things that would dig up corpses in graveyards, you know, all the way back into the, you know, the old days. So I think it's probably a very old phenomena, but you're right. It could be spiritual as well. And the interesting thing about that is Tex Weston, who's a good friend of mine as well, from Texas Front Porch, he saw one recently. And he's been dealing with what he saw and trying to understand it. He said he saw it go at night. He was out in Texas doing some research, and he saw this dark shadow, like small humanoid figure, but it scaled this wire-framed like building. It was all dilapidated. There's just basically wire frame left. But he said he saw it go up onto the side and it didn't make a sound. He's like, I just don't know what to do with that, you know, because so it is interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Very good point.
And so like the idea of a ghoul.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, what the heck? Like so to me, like I can reconcile that a Bigfoot is, you know, flesh and blood, no matter what other aspects it has to it, but lives out in the woods and has a family unit and, you know, is looking for food every day and has a function in nature. Okay.
Yeah.
But what the heck a function is a ghoul? You know, like,
Well,
like,
what if it was, I mean, just as devil's advocate here, what if it was something that was helping, like, just kind of like ants, bugs, and everything break down decomposing tissues, and they, you know, make it so it doesn't poison our waters and stuff from having these mountains of corpses running around. Maybe they have some function like that, kind of utilitarian.
Well, the ghoul needs to hire Nita and rebrand itself.
It does. It needs
come out of the dark, and it could clean up.
Yeah,
she could help it. Yeah, it can just, you know, if you don't want to pay, you know, $30,000 for a funeral, just having, you know, saying a few nice things and let the ghoul take you. You know what I'm saying? You don't need, like, cut out the middleman of, you know, I don't want to pay for a funeral and then know that, you know, the ghoul is dug up.
Well, I don't think you got to worry about that anymore, because I once in the Civil War hit, we started embalming corpses, and I think that took away what food source they would have.
Well, you say that, okay?
Uh-huh.
You say that, but how many times do you find, about once a year, isn't there a story about a funeral home that does absolutely nothing that it claims?
Yeah.
That it's...
Ooh. Yeah, maybe it's actually a ghoul drive-through.
And those people, and I got to be quite honest with you, those people, I would be okay with being labeled as ghouls.
Yeah, that's a whole different kind of ghoul. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But to that point, I do believe that every single every single the notion of dwarves and elves and fairies and stuff like that. I think all that stuff is rooted in something.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
And
Yep.
so there had to be something
Yep.
that somebody came up with the notion that there were undead or half dead or whatever creatures digging up people and eating them.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Well,
Now
skin.
the real scary thing is I mean, there's humans, like just regular humans that
Yeah.
could I would do something like that and have done stuff like that
Yeah.
over the millennia. That
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep. You're right.
if there's
Sometimes.
something sick and depraved, a regular human being has done it.
Yeah. Or
Just
is
saying.
actively doing it. Yeah. Absolutely. I think you're right. I think sometimes the most scary things out there is other people. But Rachel gets it right. Asked, what do you think of one-off sightings potentially being creatures coming to our world through a portal, like missing 411, but they are victims who went missing from their home world?
I think that is 100% a possibility
Sure.
because I don't doubt for 1 second that there's stuff like I don't I think we're crossing over inadvertently into other places, and I think people or things are crossing over into our realm.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question that is happening. I mean,
Yeah.
there's just too many. Like I said, there's just too many people with stories or encounters. There's too many credible people that are doing research in places that they will tell you have portals,
Yeah.
and it's crazy to think about that, but it makes a lot of it's crazy to think about it, but in some regards it does make sense. And then not just to help explain how 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 there's different creatures and stuff. It kind of makes a little more sense to how the world it works. I think if that makes sense, that
Sure.
there has to be that there is there's other timelines similar to ours, probably, I think, going on in different dimensions. And yes, they would bump into each other. There'd be places where you could pass. Now, are those natural places that just happen to occur, or were they made by people from other dimensions for nefarious reasons?
Yeah.
Is our dimension the best one, and everybody wants to come here and take what we have back to their? I mean, who knows?
Ooh.
I mean,
What if it
you know,
was like a micro version of Pacific Rim, right? These are engineered things that are unleashed in our world, and they come in here to raise hell and then pop back over or something. That's a kind of a sobering thought. I never even thought of something like that.
I mean, well, gosh, is it was it Christopher O'Brien, right? He was the first. He was on the show a long time ago, and he was one of the first researchers out at Skinwalker Ranch back in the 90s. Okay, wild dude, great. He just recently passed away. I think within the last year, but he was out researching all the cattle mutilations. Okay,
yeah.
that was the thing that was going on in out there on Skinwalker Ranch that got everybody's attention. Okay,
Yeah.
he told us on the show that he stood there once they got beyond the fact that it wasn't somebody going out there and just mutilating cattle, that it was another thing going on. Okay,
Yeah.
whether it was aliens or whatever, but he said that he and a couple of the researchers stood there and watched a creature that we would probably describe as a dog man step out of like a hole, like it looked like a hole.
I heard about
Just,
this. Yeah.
just step out of it. It said that wasn't the only thing that that researchers and people monitoring it had seen.
Yeah.
Step out of it, and he's like, "So where are they coming from?"
Right.
But then again, that's a place where the Native Americans hold sacred, and and they'll tell you, and that some things you're not supposed to mess with out there.
Yeah.
So how long have these portals been available? And is that how people are traveling across the galaxy?
Yes. Yep.
Does just because there's different dimensions, does that mean you walk through the porthole and you don't go through the portal and just end up on Earth number 7?
Right.
You might end up somewhere across the galaxy. I don't.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah. I mean, we don't understand any of it. By the way, speaking of rebranding, I just want you to know that you've effectively been rebranded now as well. Did you know that?
What did Wes have to say?
He's telling us on the chat. He told everybody when they're asking you questions to make it out to Blaine Grove.
Okay.
So you've been rebranded. Just saying.
All right. Wait till I get into the group text tomorrow morning about 11 o'clock or 12, and then when it wakes him up and he's like, "What are his usual? What are you guys talking about? I'm trying to sleep, and it's like noon or something for him."
At the crack of noon, he's crawling out of bed. Yeah,
exactly. If the Sasquatch Chronicles fans knew how hard he worked to create that show for them, they would just be astonished.
Oh, I know.
I know he's up by 3 every day to do that.
Yeah.
To do that.
Okay, so
that's only because the dog needs let out.
Yeah, Teddy needs his love. All right, the unknown has a question. If Shane can remember Jody Cook on his show, can you
forget Jody Cook? Can
you let everyone know what Jody said about the Dogman encounter, about a Dogman that attacked 2 people? Just wondering if he could.
Ooh. So, I remember Jody Cook being on the show. It's probably 4 years ago. I don't really remember a specific. I'm not sure. I know we talked about the Land Between the Lakes story. If that's the story that they're referring to, I don't really remember another story of Jody talking about a dog man attacking 2 people, to be honest. I do know, though, at the time when we were talking to Jody, there seemed to be a lot of dog man activity in the Cleveland metro parks. And around Akron, Ohio, and he had been on some stuff had happened there, which that's Bigfoot territory.
Sure.
Yep. So and I never, Jody and I had kept the contact sporadically. I have not reached out to him for a while.
Sure.
Just gets busy, but yeah, that was a great interview, just to hear what he had to say.
Yeah.
And one of the best things he told us was that he was giving a talk somewhere, okay? Mm-hmm. And that what branch? It was a branch of the government, okay? Like NSA or somebody like that, actually came up and introduced themselves to him and said, "We just want to let you know we're here. And yes, we're interested in what you have to say."
Oh, wow.
And we just didn't want you to get, basically freaked out that we were here. But he claimed, now was his claim, that the guy that took care of his website could see that different branches of the government, like the FBI, CIA, he called them the alphabet,
Yeah.
agencies, were frequently in the on his website looking at reports
Wow.
that he posted.
Yeah.
So, that goes back to them. They don't know what's going on, as far as that phenomena goes. They don't know what's going on. They're probably just trying to figure out if there's something to it. I
Right.
don't know.
Yeah.
So no, to answer that question, other than the Land Between the Lakes, I do not recall Jody Cook sharing a incident with a dog man attacking two people.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, that's a long time ago.
It is, but
I didn't know there'd be a test.
you're being quizzed. Well, obviously you don't know your own show that well. I know it happens to me all the time. And honestly, when I'm interviewed, some of the toughest questions people ask, is there one story that sticks out to you? And it's like, no, there's hundreds that stick out to me that I've covered. And these, I mean, I've always been in the position, and not to, cast aspersions anyway. I think the sensational stories are exciting, but I'm excited when somebody has a door open they can't explain, or, if the lights are flickering. I mean, that's pretty bizarre usually. Maybe electrical, but if it's truly paranormal, you're being presented with something that's not supposed to happen. So all of this stuff for me is amazing. And I feel like I'm always copping out on interviews when they say, what's the one story? And it's like, well, God, I don't know if there's one. There's hundreds of them. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I know what you're saying. I mean, and yeah, some have blended together.
sure.
And you have to go back and say, oh my gosh, I forgot about that one, because I mean, we're always, we're trying to produce a show for the next week and the next week, and you're okay, let's get this one out, because we're doing it, even though this all started out, it started out for us. Okay. We started out because this is what we wanted to do. Once you do this long enough and you get a fan, people that listen and really count on your show coming out, and giving them, something to pass the time, or just excite them and get them, interested in something. That's what your focus then becomes, is how can I get another good guest on that is going to share something and hopefully, make somebody else. Like, my big thing is people go, well, I don't have a good enough story. Okay. Like you said, like a door opening or something. Like, no, I go, all that stuff is important.
Yes.
And, because it helps fill in the picture, and it might also help somebody who, was like, I think I'm crazy,
Yep.
I think I'm crazy. I mean, that's like Ruben, the guy that told the story, down there on the river. I said, look, man, I just hope that somebody else has encountered the same thing down there in the woods, so that maybe you don't feel like,
It was just you.
just you and your, and the other guys you were with, maybe we can get an explanation for. I mean, I think some people would really like to have a mundane ho-hum explanation for some of their stuff. I mean, to be quite honest, especially when they find out coming on I don't send them a check or even a T-shirt,
Yeah.
You don't get.
I see Dave. Yeah, exactly. Mr. Dave Scott popped in. Good to see you, brother. From Mr. Spaced Out Radio himself is in the audience. So good to see you, man. Thanks for coming in. Yeah. You got to meet Dave Scott sometime. You guys would have a great talk too.
Well, as long as he doesn't call me Blaine.
Well, he calls me B. Arthur, so I don't know, because I'm a Golden, he says, and I call him Betty White. So, yeah, you're probably going to get a nickname out of that deal, too. Just warning you. Yeah, he's a really nice guy. He does a great show over there on Spaced Out Radio. It follows this show as well.
Well, should I see? I almost feel like if Wes has given me a nickname, it's kind of like the scepter, being
Right, passed.
placed on your shoulder, right?
Sure.
Like, I knight thee, Blaine, and
Yeah, I didn't even get a nickname from Wes, so you already or not one he shared with me anyway.
yeah, brother.
There might be some. So now, oh God, I did want to ask you this, because obviously, music is a big part of what we do as well. I mean, it brings people into the experience. The theme song in your song is a song that I had on my playlist forever on Spotify too. How did you get that song? Do you know the person that wrote that song, or?
Yeah, I wrote the song. What are you talking about?
From the Shadows?
Yeah. That I wrote that song. We wrote it.
Oh, beautiful! I didn't know that.
So the gentleman that sings it, Mike Allen, his dad was a famous country songwriter. He wrote wrote a big song for John Michael Montgomery called oh gosh, I can't even think of it. That's terrible. But his dad was a big time writer. So him and a gentleman named Nolan Neal, who has passed away. He was super talented. And another guy, right, with David Wade. We all, I've been writing music for years,
right?
And we wrote that song actually got pitched for some sync opportunities for like horror movies.
Oh yeah, I can believe it. Yeah.
And so when we were, me and the judge were deciding, what we were going to name the podcast. I said, "Hey, look, I got this cool music already. Let's call it." But somebody had already used the title "In the Shadows,"
right?
Which is the actual name of the song,
right?
And so we just called our show "From the Shadows," not realizing that would kill us on any kind of search engines, because nobody's looking for shadows. You know what I'm saying? They're all looking for paranormal.
Oh, okay.
Sasquatch. Nobody's looking for.
That's really cool. I didn't.
But what's really cool though is people from over the years have asked. Like they all think I've had people ask if that's Ozzy Osbourne singing that.
He sings it brilliantly. The guy is very good.
Yeah. He did another song that we did for Sync for scary movies called "Talking to Ghosts." And it's we have that up somewhere too. It's great. Mike Allen's great, and Nolan Neal produced so that song, like, he produced it on his laptop for that. I mean,
nice.
he was a genius.
Yeah, that's
so
cool. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know it, Shane has written and co-written several very famous songs. So you may or may not have known that, but now you know. I didn't even know that was your song. That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that song. I've been listening to it for years, and I was like, oh, and then we met, and I was like, wow, that's great. He got that song. I wonder how he got permission for that.
Yeah, unfortunately, Spotify does not pay us every time it's played.
Oh, well, yeah, because you'd be getting a lot of money from me.
It'd be like 27 cents.
Yeah,
I would get
like $1.50 in a good year.
Not even.
Really, it's that. I don't know I don't have any of my music hosted on Spotify, so I don't know any of it. But
it's not good.
No,
it's not good.
Okay,
not good.
Well, I mean, but it's good exposure, and you're an incredibly talented guy for just being able to do all that.
Well, I write with a lot of really talented people. As a matter of fact, next week's guest is going to be, I got a 2-part I'm copying Sasquatch Chronicles. I know
Oh, okay.
Wes loves that one, but I've got two guests because they had short stories.
I think he's
But
used to
actually,
it.
the first part is a songwriter named Sonia Lee, who is she's got an independent deal right now, but she wrote a couple number one hits for the Zach Brown band
Oh,
back in the
nice.
day,
Okay.
and she has a cool little ghost story she's sharing, and so she and I are collaborating on some stuff too, and I mean, it's fun to meet meet those. Well, I'm still waiting. So I'm friends with Tanya Tucker. She has a Bigfoot story,
Oh, nice.
and she has offered to come on and tell the story. Now,
Hell
it's
yeah.
her dad's story,
Okay.
and you know, but that ca- I'm gonna bust Wes's chops here a little bit. And as famous as Tanya is, it's not as famous as his one of his biggest fans, Carol King.
I know. I know. And
Hmm.
he didn't even know who it
Yeah,
was. He's
didn't
like,
know who Carol King
he's
was. No,
like, good luck with that
no.
music stuff.
Yeah, like he's just like it's just some nice older lady that buys all my merchandise and sent me and I'm like, you don't know Tapestry, like one of the greatest albums ever written? No, I don't know who Carol King is. It's like, golly.
You and I.
Yeah, she just calls every now and then and yeah, no
Yeah.
big deal. I'm like,
Yeah.
never once did I get a text from Carol King saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
Wes Gerber said I should get a hold of you. That
Yeah.
you write too, and maybe we would."
Me either. Me either. I don't
Maybe.
get no. I don't think I get messages from anybody really famous ever. So you guys are already way ahead of me on that one, but that's okay. These are great people anyway. But I think the music thing is really cool, and I'm really impressed that you wrote that song. I love that song. And
Thanks. Well, I people ask about it all the time, and we just, I mean, it's up there on Spotify for people
yeah,
to go check out, along with a lot of other stuff. I think you can search a Shane Grove playlist and maybe get all the songs that I've had cut by different artists and stuff.
oh,
I
very cool.
think I know there's one that's on my that you can go through my website and find or whatever. But
Very nice.
and some people know some of the people on there. I mean, some
Yeah.
people won't, but we've done some. When you said Wraith, we said Wraith. We did a couple songs for a horror movie called The Wraith Within.
Oh, okay.
The movie was not good, but the music we wrote, I think, was better. It's
Oh,
pretty good.
that's the challenge, though, isn't it? Because I guess when you're doing that, if the movie is successful, then the music will, and it's good, that'll
Yeah.
automatically launch, a lot of opportunity. But if the movie sucks, people don't really care about the playlist anymore.
No,
Yeah.
no, and we did just get some a movie that we wrote some music for is just got picked up by Netflix.
Uh huh.
So it's called American Outlaws, and it's the story of all those kids. I can't think of their name, but it was two brothers and a sister that went on a cross country crime spree
Uh huh.
7, 8, 10 years ago. The Doherty, they called themselves the Doherty Gang.
Okay.
But we wrote a song that Way Jennings, who's Waylon's grandson, sang in the middle. We got the scene and we wrote the song to the scene, and
Oh,
we
cool.
didn't know if anything would ever happen with it. And yeah, we just got word that it got picked up by Netflix. So I mean, that's kind of cool that we'll be
Very
able to
cool.
tell people that. But
Speaking
yeah,
of movie projects, you and I were talking about one before, and
oh yeah.
and an incredible character. Just in case Wes is still out there listening,
So yeah,
tell us about this, Shane.
so we mentioned I mentioned Stacey Brown. Well, Stacey Brown wrote wrote and produced a short film that I helped him produce, and it got a good some good acceptance down in Florida. It sold out a couple theaters, so we kind of kicked around the idea of doing a full length feature and Stacey Brown and those, because Stacey Brown's a super talented guy.
Yeah, he
He's
is. Incredible.
You know, he's crazy talented. So anyway, I'm writing the full script for this movie, and you know, when you're writing a script and you're creating characters, you got to come up with names for people.
Sure.
And so there's a really important character in this that just happens to have the name of Wes Thomas. So, and of course, when Stacy was reading this, he's like, "Wait a second, what's this all about? We're going to name anybody else after podcast hosts or whatever?" So, so yes, you and Wes will be immortalized in a Stacey Brown production here.
Oh, very
hopefully,
cool.
the idea is this is going to get filmed in November, but I also have to get the script finished.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's really cool. I'm honored for what it's worth, and I'm sure Wes is honored as well.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I could change it. I could change it to Russ Thomas and say it was close enough.
Wayne,
you know? I mean,
Wayne Thomas.
yeah, Blaine Thomas.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it's yeah, it should be a fun. It should be. I described it to a writer director friend of mine the other day as The Shining meets The Witch.
Ooh.
So it's kind of a period
Period piece.
It's kind of a period piece. Takes place in the 1880s or something in Florida, and so hopefully it'll be shooting in November. So
Cool. Excellent.
We'll see.
That's very cool, man. So what's coming up from the shadows? What's going on in the future of your endeavors here?
You know, I got lots of people lined up for interviews. So, you know, I think we got some cool guests. Like I said, we're kind of making our way to that Mohegan Bigfoot Festival in September on the 20th. So if you're in Ohio, and the good thing is I do not think the Buckeyes play on the 20th. I told them I wasn't coming to the festival if they did anyway. So I think because in Ohio in the fall you have to schedule stuff around the Buckeyes. I hate to say that.
Yeah.
But that's the truth. That's also the day of the Mothman Festival, but it's kind of a different crowd.
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing that, and then you know, we're just grinding away, trying to do good stuff and keep building the audience and the fan base, and
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I mean, and I owe so much to to all you guys that have mentored us mentored me along the way. I mean, yeah, I consider you and Wes good friends. I mean,
thank you, brother.
I've told people often that if we were put out our text messages in our group, that would be a show unto itself. Sometime, but no, you guys have done a lot from the early days of having us on and helping promote the show, and
for sure.
And we've done as much as we can to help you guys, but it's not as nearly as much as you guys.
Wow.
But that's the thing is getting into this is not just meeting the people with the stories. It's meeting all you guys that do this too. And because I think we're all fascinated by this subject, the paranormal, the supernatural, whatever it is. It's good to have good, solid people that you can talk to behind the scenes and just check in with and help navigate the way. You know what I'm saying?
No, I rely very heavily on talking with you and Wes as well, and several other friends of mine in the field, because it's kind of a unique situation, and we're all in our own little bubbles, and it's really cool to have that collaborative spirit where we can, hey, what do you think of this? Is this stupid? Is this a good idea? What do you think of this intro? We bounce things off of each other, and it's been a godsend for me just having those connections, and So I really appreciate it. Likewise, brother. I mean, your friendship's been really awesome and important to me. And if I've helped lift your boat at all, man, I'm thrilled. I think the lion's share of that probably is on Wes, but I'll take a bow. I'll take a bow.
Listen, I got to. Yeah, we have to pay homage to the king, right?
We do.
He's still holding the scepter, but no, he is. Yes, he has been very gracious.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to help any of us out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But a rising tide, I think, raises all ships. You know the saying.
Oh yeah.
And I think because we're all in this for the same thing, the discovery of what this stuff is, and to help people who really need answers.
Yeah.
And it only helps if there's a collective group of people that are in it for the right reasons.
Right.
And it just helps everybody else out. So
Amen, brother. Well, we're about out of time. It's been 2 hours. Has it gone fast? You've gone okay for you?
Is it 2 hours? I mean, I could go another 2. No, just kidding. My alarm will be going off in 5 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well,
but that's okay.
Thanks for taking one on the chin and staying up late with us, brother. It's been a real pleasure having you here.
Anytime that I can be called a different name by Wes and get to hang out with you, and I'm just glad that Nita apparently has stayed up too, because she's in Virginia. She's in Virginia, and she's stayed up past her bedtime to answer questions that I can't even read. So anybody in the chat, I'll go back through, and if there's something specific that I can answer, I will. But thanks to Nita for keeping up. And I don't know where Phil's at. Phil should be up watching too, but I don't think he's
Yeah, Nita says, yes, still here.
Boy.
A lot of people are thanking you for coming on. They're saying great guest. So appreciate it, brother.
Thank you for everybody that's watching. I mean, it's important.
Yeah.
It's important, when Brent puts on a show, tune in.
Amen.
It's important.
Amen. I like the way you think, brother. So, ladies and gentlemen, check out From the Shadows podcast, available on all the podcasting apps, wherever you get your podcasts from. Just do a search. Wherever you're listening to The Portal or Sasquatch Chronicles, Shane's right there and there with us. So, definitely support what he's doing. Follow, subscribe, and listen to the episodes, guys. They're doing great shows over there. So, that's about all the time we have for tonight, everybody. So, thank you so much for joining us. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap it up for us today. So hope you guys enjoyed the show, and thank you again so much for all your love and support. And remember, if you want to follow the Paranormal Portal, probably the easiest way is to head over to paranormalportal.net. And that's the homepage for the Paranormal Portal. And you'll find links to all of our different social media and sites and information about the shows, including our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/paranormalportal. Or just look for Paranormal Portal on Google or whatever search engine, and you'll find links to our social media, such as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. So we're kind of all over the place, and we're spreading as well as we can. But anyway, thank you so much for the love and support. Y'all take care, and remember, we love y'all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other, help each other out, find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. Until next time.